Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com.
Is it permitted to enter into a non-kosher restaurant, such as to use the bathroom, get a kosher drink, a cup of Coke, or simply to sit and schmooze with friends, a Gentile acquaintance, a business partner, while you will not eat anything, or you will eat something that has absolutely no kashrus concern, as defined by halacha? So seemingly, there should be no worry with entering a kosher restaurant if you don't plan on eating any non-kosher foods, as that is exactly the problem with going to a non-kosher restaurant, eating the non-kosher food. So if you will not partake in the food, what issue can there be with simply going inside? So this enters us into the question of what's called chashad and maras ayin, halachic concepts that are found in many areas of Shulchan Aruch and the Talmud, in which we say a Jew is to avoid doing certain actions that can appear to the bystander, to the outsider, as if he is doing something wrong, something against halacha. And thus we find in various areas of Jewish law that although something is innately permitted without any remnant of a prohibition, since it appears like a prohibition, therefore you're not allowed to do so. And the question is raised regarding a restaurant. Although you're not partaking chas v'shalom in any non-kosher food, by merely entering the establishment that its whole purpose is to serve non-kosher food, it can consist of chashad and maras ayin to the outsider, and he'll say, look at this Jew coming and eating non-kosher food in this restaurant. So the question is, do we suspect for maras ayin in such a case? So this enters us into the secondary question regarding maras ayin. When do we suspect for maras ayin? Is it only in cases that the Talmud made an explicit reference or decree, or in all cases that we as human beings can suspect that he's doing something wrong? Even if the Talmud and Poskim did not explicitly point a finger and say this is considered maras ayin. In other words, can you make new decrees of maras ayin today, or only what the sages initially decreed is in effect? So this matter is in truth a machlokes amongst the Gdolei Ha'achreinim. The Pri Chadash in 87:7 famously ruled that one may not make new decrees of maras ayin that are not based on the Talmud or Rishonim. As if so, there's no end. You can make everything asa due to maras ayin, says the Pri Chadash. However, the Pri Toya in 87:9 and the Rashba and others dissent on this and claim that you are allowed to make new decrees of maras ayin, as the Chachamim, when they invented the idea of maras ayin, it was a general prohibition against doing things that appear like an Isser. And if the shoe fits, wear it. So if going to a non-kosher restaurant appears like maras ayin, it would be forbidden. So how do we rule? So one thing's for certain. The Talmud and Poskim do not make any mention of an Isser of maras ayin regarding entering a non-kosher restaurant. And yes, even back then they used to have non-kosher restaurants, and Jews would sometimes stay in inns that are owned by Gentiles. And we do not find any mention anywhere that it's forbidden to go to the restaurant due to maras ayin. So certainly this would serve as a lack of a source in Talmud or Rishonim for there being such a prohibition. Nonetheless, if we go according to the approach of the Pri Toya and the Rashba and others, if it appears like maras ayin in truth, then it would be forbidden under that precept, irrelevant of whether it is explicitly written in the Poskim or not. So famously, the Igros Moshe in Orach Chaim Chelik Beis Tshuva 40 discusses this very question. What's the deal with entering a non-kosher restaurant? And he rules that we do suspect for maras ayin and chashad that people will think he's coming to eat non-kosher food, and therefore it is forbidden to do so. And he bases his ruling on the Gemara in Avodah Zarah 11a and the Mechaber Yeridea 149, in which it is ruled that it's prohibited to travel on a road that leads to a city of idolatry, due to chashad that people will think he's coming to serve idolatry. And so to here, by you entering the restaurant, people will think you're coming to eat in the restaurant, to eat non-kosher food. This prohibition, according to Rav Moshe, would apply even if there's no Yidden around, so there is no maras ayin in actuality. as whenever we make a decree of Marasayin by a biblical prohibition, such as you think, people are going to think he's eating non-kosher food, it applies even in privacy. B'chedri chadarim, as ruled in the Alter Rebbe in 30156 and many other poskim. Nonetheless, writes Rabbi Moshe, that in a time of great need, such as one is very hungry or needs a bathroom, and there is no active Marasayin involved, such as there's no Jews in the vicinity, or people don't even know that you're Jewish, they don't know you, and you're not dressed like in a Jewish garb, then it's permitted to go inside, use the bathroom, or eat something kosher in a time of great need. What's the reason? As Reb Moshe holds that in a time of great need and pain, the Chachamim did not make their decree of Marasayin. And practically, this is the halacha to summarize. One is not to enter a non-kosher restaurant due to the Isser of Marasayin. However, in a time of great need, you need to use the bathroom, you're very thirsty, you're very hungry, it is permitted to go inside and purchase a kosher food. If there are no Yidden who know you, who are outside, that will be able to recognize that you're a Jew sitting inside a non-kosher restaurant. An interesting discussion that has been brought up in this generation is regarding Starbucks and other like coffee places, establishments where it's not really catered to non-kosher food. You also have a menu that is kosher, such as the coffee. So this is obviously much less of an issue of Marasayin, especially also when you deal with rest stops in which you have most people go there to use the bathroom. People recognize and know the purpose of why someone, a Jew, would be entering into the non-kosher establishment, and in such cases, even according to Reb Moshe, less of an issue would be applicable.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.